Hello, friends. Welcome to another Wednesday. I hope you are doing fabulous. I hope you're having a great week. Wanted to share with you another favorite Bible verse and hope that this will speak to you today. My name is Michael Halfhill. I'm the lead pastor at the Piedmont Park Seventh-day Adventist Church, and I've been reading in the book of Numbers, and there's a very wild story that happens in this book. It's the story of Balaam, and of course, many young people know the story of Balaam and the donkey. But I want to go past that. I want to go to when Balaam has gone to this king who's paying him money. He wants Balaam, a prophet, to curse God's people, Israel, who is on their way to the promised land. And so Balaam goes up and says, hey, I can only prophesy what God tells me to prophesy. And the king says, that's fine. Now go curse him. And so Balaam begins to prophesy, and he doesn't curse them. Instead, he blesses them. But I want you to listen to a part of Balaam's blessing that I think is so powerful, and it's one of my favorite sections of the Bible. So Balaam speaking here is supposed to be cursing, but instead he blesses, and he says this in it's Numbers 23, verse 21. Speaking of Israel, he says, God has not observed iniquity in Israel or Jacob, nor has he seen wickedness in Israel. The Lord his God is with him, and the shout of a king is among them. How amazing that Balaam looks out over Israel that's camped out. He's on a mountain. He's looking out over them, and he says, God has not observed iniquity in Jacob, nor has he seen wickedness. Now, friends, this is really wild because if you read through the story of Exodus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, of the people of Israel leaving Egypt and going to the promised land, man, they are messing up constantly. They are complaining about water, then they're complaining about food. There's all sorts of rebellion after they get the 10 Commandments. They make the golden calf. Tons of mistakes. And yet God says, I'm looking at Israel and I see no wickedness. Isn't that amazing? Now, God's not a liar. So how does he do this? Well, when God looks at his people, when God looks at you, he chooses to see his son, Jesus, because of what Jesus does on the cross. God looked at Jesus on the cross and saw sin and turned away. So that now when we believe in Jesus, God can look at us who make mistakes, who blow it, just like Israel did, and he can say, I see no iniquity in them, no wickedness. Why? Because he's seeing his son. It's just an amazing thing of how when God looks at us, now he knows our problems, he knows our mistakes, he knows all those things, but he chooses to bless. He chooses to look past and to see his son Jesus, who died for us, for our wickedness, for our iniquity. To me, that is just such an amazing part of God. And it's not just the Old Testament, in the New Testament, when Jesus is praying there in John 14-17, he's talking about the disciples, and he says, they have perfectly kept your word, perfectly followed. And we're like, wait a second, I've read all about the disciples. They've been blowing it from time to time and really messing up. And yet Jesus said, no, they're good. That's an amazing God we serve. I hope you know his grace. I hope you know his forgiveness, because when we truly know those things, then we're able to be gracious to others. We're able to be forgiving to others, which is what God wants. Friends, have a great rest of your week. Join us this coming Saturday as we continue our sermon series in the book of Exodus. You can join us for our Bible study time for all ages at 9:30, all ages from 0 all the way up to 100 or whatever. You can join us at 9:30 for that, and our worship time is at 11. You can join us online or in person. We'd love to have you join us in person. Friends, take care. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk to you soon. God bless.